This is the Sunday motivational video. Every Sunday, we bring you a different type of video which should improve your life. Today, we're looking at 15 mistakes people make when they're young. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hey there, Aluxers. We hope you're having an incredible day. Can you believe it's been a full week since last Sunday? We always read your comments, and despite our main audience being more mature, a good portion of you are still young, so we made this video just for you. In it, we're bringing forward the most common mistakes young people make. If you're smart, you'll definitely have a thing or two to learn, and maybe you won't make the same mistakes as everyone else. Consider it as a competitive advantage to life, which we're giving you. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. But let's cut this intro short and get going. Number 1. They focus on passing exams instead of learning. School should prepare you for life. Unfortunately, we know that's not always the case, and you're probably familiar with our stance on the current educational system. With that said, there's still value there. Actually, a lot of value that young people don't know how to capture because, well, they're young. The most important skill you can take away from school is learning how to learn. Many teenagers discredit completely the idea of school and are leaving a lot of value on the table due to their own ignorance. Focus your efforts on learning how to assimilate deep knowledge quickly, and you can use that superpower to teach yourself anything you need. Number 2. They think IQ or talent is enough to be successful. Another thing the youth overvalue is the importance of IQ or talent. Don't get us wrong, both can be a massive competitive advantage if used properly, but just having one of them doesn't mean the world will reward you. Ever heard the saying, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard enough? There are a lot of highly intelligent people out there who are miserable and poor because they had the understanding that it's enough to have a high IQ and that the world somehow needs to compensate them for that. As you know, success is a cocktail of skills, and one ingredient alone won't give you a happy life. Number 3. They don't know when to listen and when not to listen to their parents. Some young people have a tendency to get this exactly backwards. They rebel against their parents and end up regretting it because of their lack of knowledge. Or they follow their parents' advice and end up regretting it as well for the lack of vision. Here's the shortest form of advice we can give you regarding this. If the target at hand is below the level of achievement of your parents, follow what they have to say. They've probably been through it themselves and can serve as mentors, helping you skip a lot of the headaches. The problem occurs when you're looking for something different or beyond what your parents know or have been through. That's when you have to walk a different trail, seek different advice from different individuals. The last thing you want to do is to live in your parents' expectations of what you should become without being what you want to be. You'll end up hating your life and holding your parents accountable for it. It's a lose-lose situation. Number 4. They get into debt. One of the worst financial decisions you can make in your early years is to get yourself into a large amount of debt. What most people don't realize is that the moment you borrow money, your time is no longer yours. Someone owns your time, your efforts, until your entire amount plus the interest is repaid. In the US, student debt is a very interesting phenomenon. Despite us having free access to all the information in the world via the internet, people still take these debts on because it's easy to do so. They do it not in order to acquire the knowledge, but to get the degree. In the US alone, there are 44 million people wrapped up in student loans. That's more than the population of most countries. In the rest of the world, we see the same thing happening with the housing crisis. People take out loans over 20 or 30 years just so they can afford to buy their first apartment. Imagine being in your 20s and starting life with $100,000 in debt. Good luck with that. Number 5. They equate happiness with money. This is a very common rookie mistake. They think that money will solve all of their problems. The truth is, money will solve some of them, but there's more to being a human being than the stress caused by material issues. That's why we have a substance abuse crisis on our hands, especially in the world of celebrities. This week, Demi Lovato almost ended her life due to an overdose. So one might wonder, What would drive someone who has fame, fans, more money than they could ever need to do something like this? It's a means to escape an unhappy life, ridden with mental illnesses. Our advice is to treat them as separate goals, because they actually are. The last thing you want to believe is that financial wealth is everything, only to work yourself to death, make it, and realize you missed the mark. These are strategies where you can use money to buy pleasure, which might evolve into happiness, but you need to be fairly sophisticated to pull that through. If you're curious about this, click on the top right corner. We've made a video about the things one can purchase with money that most people don't realize. Number 6. They give up when things get tough. The youth want it easy. They like McDonald's. They want to place an order, have almost instant results. That's why the youth are so addicted to social media. You post a picture, and the likes start rolling in. The downside is this type of reoccurring behavior gives you an inability to plan and work hard for the long term. By the time they realize this, they're already too old, and all the advantages they could have had if they were more strategic with their efforts are gone. They want it easy, and they'd rather quit to move on to the next shiny object, thinking that's not going to demand so much effort, only to be once again shocked by how non-linear life is. They don't put in the work. They don't know how to evolve themselves in order to keep moving forward. Just look at the type of relationships everyone has these days. Nobody is willing to work through stuff, to grow as people. Instead, we live in a world of Tinder, where there is another person willing to replace you the second things get tough. Number 7. Have a kid early or with the wrong person. Speaking of mistakes young people make that last a lifetime, when you're young, you're not sophisticated enough to see the layers of someone else. Instead, it's just a matter of sparks flying. Yes, I know you believe you're going to be together forever and ever because that's what you've seen in all those chick flick shows you keep binge watching. But life's a bit more complicated than that. The boys will stick their wee-wee in anything that moves, and the girls are willing to put out for Coachella tickets or even less. The result? A large number of teen pregnancies. As a teenager, you're unable to take care of yourself, let alone someone else. So there's almost no chance you'll be a valuable parent for your offspring. A child too early doesn't allow you to grow into the version of yourself which has a shot at winning the game of life, and most of your plans go out the window. The other thing is having a child with the wrong person. We know the world is changing and your intentions might be good, but bringing another human into this world requires a bit more judgment and planning. Just winging it results in broken individuals, which leads to a broken society, which normalizes failure for everyone. You should only have a child if you and your partner are ready for the lifelong journey of growing someone who is better than the both of you. Number 8. They think friendships will last forever. Sorry to break this to you, but most early friendships fall apart. This is because they were based on vicinity instead of cornerstone values. People drift away in different careers, different lives. They evolve into different humans. At some point, you'll realize you've become so different that you no longer share anything apart for very few memories which are fading away. Any early relationship is like that, be it romantic or friendship-oriented. We recommend keeping in touch for as long as possible because you don't get too many shots at making new, old friends. But don't get your hopes up. Life has other plans for most people. Number 9. They're self-absorbed. When you're young, the world revolves around you. It's normal to be like that. Since you've been alive, you've experienced the world from a first-person perspective. Everyone you know is related to your experience here on Earth, so you must be important, right? At least Mama said so. This makes you ignorant to other people's lives because, as you've seen in all the movies, the hero always gets what he wants in the end, doesn't he? Sooner or later, you'll realize that we can't all be the hero. Some of you are extras in someone else's movie, and it's gonna be soul-crushing. You guys like these videos because we keep it honest with you. Some of you are not going to make it, and if you don't shake yourselves up and realize that you need to start positioning yourselves right now in the context of others, you're going to end up miserable once the likes start fading away. There's very little value in being self-absorbed if you're not valuable enough. Number 10. They don't invest in themselves. Everyone thinks they have time on their side and it will work itself out in the end. Wake up call, kids. No, it won't. You will end up suffering, forgotten, and alone if you don't show life the proper amount of respect. When we say invest in yourself, we mean more than what you're doing with the little money you have. We talk mostly about time, because that's the resource you're rich in during your early years. Spend it towards growing yourself to a point where you can protect yourself against the tyranny of life itself. Because, oh boy, if you're not ready when times get tough, you'll be wrecked, and times will always get tough at some point. One of the best ways to invest in yourself is to pick up reading as a habit. Books written by people who dealt with some shit, wrote it down as a map for others to make better choices and have a better shot at success, no matter what success means for you. We've made multiple videos about books we believe could have a positive impact on your life, which you can check out by clicking in the top right corner. And if you're not much of a reader, we recommend you start with audiobooks. We find them incredible for filling the time which otherwise would be wasted, like being stuck in traffic or going to the gym. You can go to Alux.com/freebook and sign up to choose one audiobook for free to get yourself moving in the right direction. We would recommend you start with Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. When we were super young, this book was a life changer. Number 11, they waste time. Because of the abundance of time they have, young people are careless about it. So what do they do with it? They waste it on low-level entertainment or doing nothing at all. How many TV shows are you going to binge watch? How many Fortnite games are you going to lose before you realize you're never getting that time back? Companies build these products to be as addictive as possible while providing the smallest amount of value, so it takes you much longer to get a sense of worth out of them. Time will fly either way, but maybe you might want to switch your focus to some other things which would contribute to your existence. Our best recommendation would be to go outside and interact with people, because these early communication skills will be a major advantage once you're a bit older. Not only will you be able to talk to girls or boys, which is a big up, but you'll be more comfortable in social situations. In a world where people can no longer look you in the eye when talking, being sociable is basically a superpower. Number 12, they fail to learn who they are or develop their own identity. We've met people who have no idea who they are despite being in their 30s. The world is set up right now in a way that it's easy to keep yourself busy without being useful for years on end. At some point, you realize you have no idea who the hell you are, what you stand for, and what your true beliefs are. And the next thing you know, we see you on the internet boycotting for the sake of a boycott, or in one of those change my mind videos talking shit about genders. If you're feeling confused about these things, congrats! You're in the best time of your life to explore, to learn, and to put together the person you want to be. Leave the bias at the door and explore both sides of the coin. Then pick up what you like from each side. The world isn't black and white, and you certainly don't have to be either. Number 13. They confuse being able to pay for something with being able to afford something. We really wanted to put this in because we see more and more people buy things they can't afford for the most stupid of reasons. What most young people never accept is that money should be prioritized in order of the largest positive impact it can have on your life over the long haul. Being able to pay for something and affording it are very different things. The most basic example we can give you is buying the new iPhone or flagship device every year just so you can flex with the new model. The cost of the device is higher than the return you would get from it, so you're basically taking a loss here. When your income is low, making these kinds of choices is a very bad call. We even see them at the other end of the spectrum, with celebrities who get paid big checks for a movie, buy the most expensive house in the market, and 2 years later, they can no longer afford to pay the mortgage for the place. Just because you have the money now, doesn't mean you can afford something over its lifetime. Number 14. They stay in unhealthy relationships or are unhealthy in general. If the YOLO slogan was true and you only live once, why in the world would you put yourself in situations that eat yourself from within? People get so caught up in the little things they don't realize the harm they're causing themselves and to those around them. This includes being in toxic relationships with others or even with yourself. While you're young, you need to explore, learn, grow. The best way to do that is by making small mistakes and learning from them. The problem is when people get themselves into bad situations and never leave. Early relationships can have very long-term effects, so be careful of how much you're willing to put up with just for the romantic idea of it all. Number 15. They spend money carelessly. Young people are dumb with money. That's pretty much a given, considering that money is given to them and not earned. The most important thing is they are unable to save money, no matter the amount. Here's what we want you to do. No matter how little money you have, try saving 10% of it however you can. Piggy bank, bank account, under the mattress, just do it. If your parents give you $50 for the week, put 5 of it aside. This skill and this skill alone will make you rich beyond your peers if you learn how to master it. Train yourself to do this with any amount of money, and you'll find that life is getting better and easier as you keep doing it. If you want to learn some more about which skills make the difference between the rich and the poor, click in the top right corner to watch our secret video about that. And before you go, we're curious to know, Aluxers, what are some of the mistakes you've made when you were younger which you wish you hadn't? Please leave them in the description. Our community is growing, and your input could save a younger viewer a whole lot of trouble. Now, for sticking with us to this point, of course you get a bonus fact. Number 16. They get face tattoos. The entire theme of this video was not to make long-term decisions based on temporary feelings. How weird is it when you see people with face tattoos? Is that really the way you want to present yourself for the rest of your life? Do you really need to tattoo your SoundCloud rapper name on your forehead? That's a really big gamble you're taking there, my friend. Our recommendation is to maybe give it a second thought, no matter how well you feel about it right now. Now, we usually ask you guys to write a specific sentence or a word in the comments so we know who the true Aluxers are, but it doesn't feel right to end it like that today. So here's the new challenge. Reply to the last person to leave a comment. We'll randomly jump in and out of your conversations to make things a little more interesting. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.